There are certain teams that are good all year. But people, they don't have the right feel or the right look. They're winning a lot of close games. I think people have finally come to terms with two teams in the NFL, the Bears and the Denver Broncos. You may want to stop doubting the Denver Broncos. This Green Bay defense, elite. Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator, elite. And Bo Nix and Sean Payton carved up this Green Bay defense. He's athletic. He's clever. He's deceptive. He doesn't get sacked. Sean Payton has been texting me for 2 years. I got myself a star. The headline here can't just be Packers lose Watson and Micah Parsons. Yeah, it's awful. Jeff Hafley in the last 2 years has faced C.J. Stroud, Goff, Hurts, Matt Stafford. Bo Nix in the last 2 years is the only quarterback Green Bay's defense has faced that's thrown 4 touchdown passes to 4 different wide receivers. So too many people, I said this last week, have just sort of made up their mind on Bo Nix. I think he reminds me of a right-handed Steve Young. He is way, way more athletic than anybody gives him credit for. Dad was a coach, never gets sacked. Never gets sacked. I've said this about Caleb Williams. Doesn't throw many picks. Bo Nix never gets sacked. And since he's been in the NFL, he's 22-9 with more touchdown passes in that span than Matt Stafford. Okay? And Sean Payton, and remember this, Bo Nix is in a division with great defensive coordinators like Jesse Minter and Steve Spagnuolo. So Denver was down 9 in the third quarter, and they needed Bo Nix, the second-year quarterback from Oregon, to be a star. And that's exactly what Bo Nix was. 3 long drives, playmaking, rolling left, rolling right, deceptive, big-time throws up the sideline, great on fourth down. Again, 8 for 12 throwing downfield. That's always been the knock. Well, I didn't throw the ball down the field. Did yesterday against arguably the best defense he's faced all year. I don't know what he needs to do to impress people. I don't know what it is. I mean, a lot of times it's first impressions and his first month in the NFL. And I know he's not the biggest guy, doesn't have the biggest arm. His first month, 5 weeks in the NFL, little choppy. Get over it. He's really, really good. Well, he wouldn't be that good without Sean Payton. Well, Troy Aikman wouldn't have been that good without Jimmy Johnson. Marino maybe not that good without Don Shula. I mean, every great Tom Brady probably wouldn't win all those rings without Belichick early in his career. You got to get over that. The kid is top 5 in wins, top 6 in total touchdowns, and he's 3rd in dropbacks. They're not babysitting. This is not Big Ben early years in the NFL. Whole playbook, motions, sets, 40 throws in a really good defensive coordinator division. So the Denver roster is excellent. We know that. The coach is excellent. The only question has been, well, what do you do with Bo Nix? Well, you know, he has 27 touchdowns. You know who else does? Drake May. In my opinion, Drake May was talked about a week ago as the MVP candidate. Bo Nix, you're not sure about. I don't know. I watched yesterday. It's time to be sure. Add this, exactly 50% of the wins, Denver's wins, have come on a game-winning drive from Bo Nix. So I don't know how you define that. The it quality, he is really good when he's got to be really good. For Green Bay, it's just one of those years. Kraft gets hurt. Christian Watson, who's been banged up since he entered the league. Micah Parsons, non-contact injury. Green Bay still good, but it's hard to lose those kind of players 2 in one afternoon and be playing in a conference championship. There's no question. Good coach, good quarterback. But, I mean, yesterday was a game I thought there, and I thought, you know what? This Green Bay's been in a lot of games like this. And they had a great first half. But Denver, and they've done this. How many times have they done it this year? 8 or 9, where they just start the second half, mid-third quarter, and they take over games. Got to stop doubting the Broncos. All right, well, Patrick Mahomes, torn ACL. That's horrible news. A lot of stars got hurt yesterday. But even before that, this year didn't feel right for the Chiefs. And the year didn't necessarily feel right for Patrick Mahomes. Yesterday, Justin Herbert was clearly the best quarterback on the field. and Mahomes and Andy Reid and Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. Kind of feels like they all got really old really fast. And it's hard when you draft at the end of rounds. They'll finally draft near the top of a draft. And that's a big advantage. You can move down if you want, accumulate other picks. Drafting for years and years and years and years at the bottom of rounds is really hard. That's why the Rams will go out and get a Devontae Adams. You got to go sometimes and buy elite players because it's hard to get them in the draft. So Kansas City feels a little similar to Disney in the Marvel movies. They have had a ton of success, but they're trying to, they're struggling to develop new characters. That's the way I'd put it. They just don't have enough elite players. It's don't blame the coaches. Small Hulk isn't working quite like they thought. I mean, here's where Kansas City is as a franchise. Travis Kelce's 8-9 surgeries in, and he's their most productive pass catcher. And he's got one foot out the retirement door. I mean, that's where Kansas City is right now. And you start looking at the Rams roster and the Eagles roster and bounce around the league. Denver's roster. And I said this, the reason most dynasties last isn't just because you got a great player, a great coach, and a great GM. It's because your division, Nick Saban in the SEC, nobody else could get the coach right. The minute Texas came in and Kirby Smart went to Georgia, Nick Saban and Bama didn't look quite as dominant. Sean Payton in division, Justin Herbert in division, Jim Harbaugh, Jesse Minter, Bo Nix. It just feels different. I mean, Travis Kelce's 36 years old, 9 surgeries in, foot through the retirement door, and he's their most dependable guy. And I know it's hard to take away Grandpa's keys when he's the only guy in town that's got a ride, right? Like he's going to drive everybody around. But this is the reality of what it is. It's not pretty. And I've said this for the last 3 weeks. I've asked every guest, rebuild or retool? I think it's more of a rebuild. I mean, their second best player or best player is a center. They got a really good corner. Mahomes now surgery. I think it's a bit of a rebuild. Now, the good news is they're getting more draft picks up near the top of rounds. I wouldn't be surprised now if some of the older guys maybe take a seat, rest a little bit, catch their breath, if you know what I mean, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and they keep that draft pick moving up. That's what they need. That's what it feels like. But here's the thing. It hasn't felt right. The last 3 seasons, they're 16th in scoring and 17th in yards per play. This has been happening for years, but the coaching was so good, Mahomes was so special that it kind of is like, even Vegas doesn't know what to do with him. Yesterday, they were a 4.5-point favorite. Chargers were the better team with a better quarterback. Kind of knew when they let Joe Tooney go, couldn't afford him, went to the Bears, been great, and they had to rely on a rookie left tackle. It was going to be bumpy. But going back to what I said about the reason, like Brady dominates his division because the Jets were a circus, the Bills were a circus, and the Dolphins were never great. Well, Josh Allen arrives in the division. It doesn't look the same. So Mahomes this year, 0 for 3 against the Chargers in Denver. 0 for 3. It's a whole different ballgame. Like I said, you get the great coach. Kirby Smart now goes to Georgia. Oh, here comes Texas. Texas A&M's got big money. It just feels LeBron dominated the East for years because it mostly stunk. Out West, it doesn't quite feel the same. So I think if I was Kansas City, I'd give the old guys a day off. I'd try to secure that top 7, 8 pick, rebuild quickly. Right now, Kansas City at 11. Rams have the Atlanta pick. That almost seems unfair. They're 10 with their stacked roster. But this thing is, we've been kind of convincing ourselves, even the guys in the desert, Vegas have been convincing themselves, they're not that far off. I think it's more of a rebuild than people think.